It's hump day.
Hump day!
It's hump day.
Hump day!
Hernan, that's your cue.
Oh, it's mine. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the episode 70 of the Hump Day Hangouts. Today is the number 9th of March 2016, and we are here with the whole crew. I guess Chris just ran away because Adam wasn't here, so I'll go ahead and say hey to Marco. What's up, Marco?
It's warm and sunny in Costa Rica still.
Yeah, it's warm and sunny in Virginia too, bitch. 82 degrees right now.
There you go. There you go. Hey, Bradley, what's up? How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. It's 82 degrees out, sunny. It's absolutely gorgeous out. I went out for a run today for about an hour and got soaked up some sun. And it's about damn time. Spring has sprung.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Talk
Nice.
to me again next week when it's 0 degrees outside.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as announcements, I think the only thing we were going to talk about prior to getting right into questions today was IFTTT version 2 launching on March 28th, right?
The 20th. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We're going to let you guys know because you are pretty much subscribed to everything we send, so you're going to get you're going to get a notice about that. But I think we're launching at 10 a.m. EST, if I'm not mistaken, on the 28th. It's going to be we hope that it's going to be a big launch, so stay tuned. You do not want to miss it. So
yeah, and I've been neck deep in recording the training videos for 6 days now. 6 whole days. I'm a bit burned out actually, but I've added 70 videos to the new training already, and I'm not done yet. And then we're going to have at least one webinar. And I say at least one, so let me qualify that. That doesn't mean we're going to do 2 for sure. That means we're going to do at least 1.
right.
So we don't get people saying, well, you said at least 1, doesn't that mean more? So we're going to do at least 1 webinar for all purchasers. It'll be like an advanced training webinar, kind of like we did with the first version where we had 3 webinars. I don't think that's going to be necessary this time because the new training is so comprehensive. A lot of the stuff that we ended up getting a lot of questions from the first training is now covered in the new training, and that's why there's already 70 videos and I'm not done yet. And plus all of the stuff that Hernan's doing, which he's doing the 2 bonuses plus the uses portion of it. So it's going to be absolutely enormous, this this product, guys. It's just ridiculous. And we're going to launch it at a very low price for a few days, and then it'll go up for about 5 days, and then it's going to go to its final resting place, which will be a much higher price, more than double. So you guys, if you're going to jump on it, I highly recommend you get it in the first 5 days where it's at a low price, because otherwise you're going to pay. As a matter of fact, when we first launch it, it'll be about 25% of what the final price will be. So I would say get it when it launches on March 28th, or else you'll be paying 4 times as much, and no exceptions. So
yeah. Yeah,
okay.
And also have in mind, guys, that even when when it's going to the final resting price, it's still 10 times the value of that.
Oh my
God.
So
if you get early, you're gonna get a ton of value. So, and we're making sure that's the case. So jump ahead while you can.
Yep.
Just to make a comment on this. We were told that IFTTT version 1 was a $500 to $600 course in and of itself. And people who have used it and applied it and are ranking with it know what the value is in that course. Well, what's coming in version 2 actually outdoes version 1.
Yes. No question.
So you're getting all of that value. So if IFTTT version 1 should have been priced at $500 to $600, the version that you're getting now should be at the $1,000 price range, but everyone's going to get a good deal. Just make sure you jump in at the beginning, or you know how it goes. You miss the boat.
Yep. Okay. Well, it looks like we got some questions. Since our fearless producer Adam isn't here today, we don't have a whole lot of else. He usually has all this other announcements and stuff. So I've got nothing.
No, I think we're fine. We're ready to jump into questions.
All right, let's do it then. Let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to lock the screen on me. And just so you know, without IFTTT, with IFTTT. I like that. All right, so we're going to get right into it. Mark O'Connell says, hey guys, hope you're doing great. Thanks, Mark. Bradley, I'm sure I've heard you mention that you sell content marketing services, basically offering curated blog syndication. If this is right, could you give me a few tips for this? I would like to build up some money by offering this service to SEO agencies so I have cash coming in, and then I can reinvest back into a real lead gen business with the mastermind and other tools, etc. Thanks. Yes, Mark. In fact, the first thing I'm going to mention is that we have an entire course about exactly this. It's called Curation Mastery, and it's an add-on service. Like part of all the SEO quotes that I give to any clients is content marketing. It's just part of it because it's part of SEO now is content marketing. And so curating is a way to curate content. It's a much more efficient way to generate content. It's usually much higher quality content than trying to use writers, unless you have like your own staff writers that are that are particularly knowledgeable about the topics that they're writing. The problem is that that's very, very expensive. And it's difficult to find writers about, especially when you're doing client work, that are knowledgeable about whatever the client's industry is, because you have to find multiple writers then, because one writer's not going to be knowledgeable about multiple topics for the most part, and if they are, they're going to be really, really expensive. So it's not really cost effective. It's hard to mark that up and make money. But with curation, all you need to do is train somebody how, or do it yourself, which I certainly don't recommend. But you can is just learn how to find and identify good content on the web, and then put it together. You combine resources. You locate resources and then combine them into curated posts that you can republish with injecting your own opinion or some additional content in, some original content in with the curated sections or pieces of content, and then you republish. And as long as you're accrediting or citing, attributing the source of where you're pulling snippets of content from, then that's perfectly fine to do. And in fact, Google likes it. And the thing is you can find you don't have to be an expert in a particular topic to be able to identify content from experts. You just have to know how to locate it and then put it together properly. And so you can train a virtual assistant to do that. And that's what the Curation Mastery course is all about, because my, as part of my local SEO agency or my local marketing agency is I've got some curators on staff that essentially curate for my clients. They curate blog posts, publish posts to my clients' blogs, which then syndicate to the IFTTT networks. And it's just part of the SEO service that I provide. So depending on the client, it can be anywhere between one post per week. Some clients are as little as one post every 2 weeks, but that's usually just for like some of like the real small mom and pop type contractors or service agencies. But for a lot of my clients, we post 2 or 3 times per week. And so like I will pay my curators, depending on what they're curating for, I pay my curators anywhere between, I'd say, $10 to $20 per post that they curate. And then I charge my clients anywhere between $30 to $40 per post to curate. So some clients are paying, like for 3 posts per week, it's roughly $500 a month, because it comes out to be about $480. And that's part of an overall SEO plan. So if I'm charging them like $800 a month for SEO services, then on the itemized invoice, or at least on the itemized proposal that I originally sent them, it shows content marketing services at 3 posts per week at $40 per post, so it's $120 a week. And so, $480 out of that, $800 might be for content marketing. And again, I'm only paying between $10 to $20 per post to have it curated. So it's about 100%. It's anywhere between like a 70 to 100% markup that I'm making on that. And I'm not doing the work. My VAs are. My curators are. And so it's a great service to provide, because content marketing is in such demand right now, and businesses need to be content marketing, but they don't have the time or the desire to do it themselves. And so,
hey, Bradley?
Yes, go ahead.
I dropped the link at the top, and I tagged Marked on it.
Okay.
But if he's in the mastermind, then he already gets that for the price of the membership.
Yep. it's included, but he's not, and that's what he's trying to generate some revenue. So.
Okay, cool. So he's tagged on it. I sent him to the page where we offer the curation mastery course.
Very good, thank you. So, but yeah, Mark, I mean, it's a great service because it's in high demand, and you know, again, it's something that you could train VAs to do, and all you need to do is manage it. You go out, find the clients or the customers, or you know, people that need the content marketing services, and then make the proposal, and then delegate the work to your VAs and just manage it. Once you train a couple VAs, a good curator can curate for pretty much any topic, because all they need to know how to do is how to curate. They don't need to know how to, be an expert in any topic. So you can train 1 or 2 or 3, however big you want to grow your content marketing agency, and basically you're outsourcing all the work. It's arbitrage. You find the work, you put the workers in place to do it, and you charge a premium, a markup on what you're paying out for labor, and you just collect the difference. All you got to do is manage it. It's very hands-off, and that's what I like about it. When I first send a new client or have a new client that I'm doing content marketing services, I get my curators to, every time they publish a post, to send me the link to the post so I can review it. So, especially if it's a new industry that they're not familiar with, so that I can review the posts. And usually I'll review about, I don't know, 6 to 8, maybe even 10 posts, depending on how much editing I need to suggest. And I'll look at the posts, and I'll just record a screencast video and say, okay, here's what I would have done, here's how you could have improved this, blah blah blah. And we go through that process several times. Like I said, it could be 5, 6 times usually on average, but sometimes as many as 10 times if I'm dealing with a new curator or if it's a brand new topic, whatever. And then we really dial in how I want them to curate the posts, and then obviously make sure that the clients are happy with it too. And then I let them go. I turn them loose. I don't even review them after that, because everything just works out, and I just collect money. So it's a great service to add into what you're already doing, and it's something that's hands-off. Remember, guys, SEO is performance-based, right? You get paid for whether or not you can rank properties and that kind of thing. Content marketing is an action-based service. Like, you're paying for the activity. You're getting paid for the activity. It's not a results-driven business, it's an activity-driven business. In other words, you're basically, because it's something that needs to be done, you're getting paid for the activity of generating or publishing posts for that client. But it doesn't. There's obviously a cause and effect with if you're doing it properly and you're doing it for SEO purposes, it should help you to rank as well. But regardless, content marketing, especially when you tell them, hey, this is also going to be updating all your social media, which you should be doing anyways, right? You say that to the client, the customer, hey, you should be updating all your social media regularly. And if you're not, use your blog to do it. We'll connect everything for you to where all you got to do is publish content to your blog, and it'll automatically update all your social media channels, upsell them on an IFTTT network, obviously, and then now you've got constant, consistent updates going out across all their social media properties. So hopefully that helps, Mark. Ed says, okay, I've read the first part, Ed. That's fine. I'll have to get with my VAs and find out if that was just an isolated incident or whatever with Rebel Mouse. But with Curator, if Curator's giving you a hard time, don't worry about it. Skip it. Don't waste any time with it, guys. And by the way, Paper.li is not being included in the second IFTTT v2. There's too many issues with it. It doesn't work all the time. It's a pain in the ass to set up, so we are excluding it. IFTTT version 2 is going to be more streamlined in that anything that is real buggy or gives a lot of issues, we just omit it entirely because we're tired of answering support tickets about properties that aren't working that has nothing to do with the IFTTT training. It has to do with the properties themselves. So we've omitted anything that gives us grief, so that you guys don't do them either, because there's just way too much productivity time lost for you guys as well as for us over properties that are buggy or are a pain in the ass. So Paper.li is being completely omitted. Curator, guys, check on it every, if you really want to use Curator, check on it once a week or so. If it's up, go add your properties to it. Add your RSS feeds. If it's down, forget it. Move on. There's too many other good properties you can use. Okay?
Yeah. And usually the best properties are the ones that failed the least,
That's
or
right.
they are down the least. That's part of the reason they are good. I mean, if you would have, if you check on a website and it's down 2 out of 3 of the times that you check, like blog.com, for example, that also means that your link or whatever you're doing to that property, it's also going to be down. That means that the visitor cannot check it out, the spiders cannot check it out. So that's giving you the warning that you shouldn't be messing, or you shouldn't be wasting your time with that property, because it's going to be down anyways. So.
Yeah, and for blog.com, for example, because like I said, I've been 6 days now recording videos for the new IFTTT version 2, and blog.com, when you guys get the new version, you'll see I repeat about 15 times throughout the blog.com training video that if it's down, skip it.
Right.
Don't send us a support ticket telling us that blog is down, it's not working. Don't do that, because we're either going to ignore it, or we're going to send you a link to the training video that says 15 times skip it if it's not up, because it's probably down. Blogs is probably down 60% of the time. So if it's up and it's available when you're creating a network, build the property, create the account. But if it's down, skip it, move on. I can't tell you guys how many times we've had people say, well, I've spent the last 4 hours trying to get this one recipe to work and it won't work. Can you please help me? I'm going to pull my hair out. Well, why did you spend 4 hours doing that? Why didn't you just move on to something else that's more productive? That's my point. So, and we're going to try to push that across through the training as much as possible, guys. You want to be efficient with your time. When we've got as many properties as we do that we can use within the networks, if something's down when you're creating your network, just move on. Just move on. And if you've got some time 3 weeks down the road or whatever, go back and look and see if it's available to create and add it in your network then. If not, just skip it. You think I actually go back and add properties that weren't available with networks that are completed? No. Whatever's available when I'm creating networks, that's what gets created. Then I move on, and I don't go back. But if it's a branded network and you guys are building a branded network and it's really important to you that one property works, that's fine. But just go check it every so often, and if it's available to use at one point, then quickly build it. But just know that it's probably going to go down again. Okay. All right. Next question. Harry says, "Love your stuff. Awesome, Harry. I will +1 that. Do you know any social network auto account creators with lifetime license? Some okay monthly options I found." Okay, there's Harry. I don't know of any, because we use virtual assistants that build everything manually. Unless one of you guys have a suggestion. Any of you?
No, I absolutely don't have a suggestion, because I do the same thing. Manual over just auto creation all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a reason for that, Harry. It doesn't matter how advanced the tool that you're trying to use is. At the end of the day, it's a tool, and it will leave a footprint. And again, it's the same with the same happens with what we just also add. The best quality network stays or a property stays is because it's being heavily moderated. That's why they are quality. And they usually get deleted real fast if you're using some sort of auto creator. It doesn't. I mean, you can use them, of course, you can use them, but not the way they are intended to be used on the IFTTT training, at least for branded accounts. So.
Yeah, what Hernan's getting at, Harry, is that you can speed up the process of creating IFTTT networks the way that we teach by using an account creator, but there are some inherent faults with those that I've found over the years, and we've tested all of them. I mean, I haven't tested these two. We've tested a lot of them, let's put it that way. And the problem is that a lot of the times, like the usernames and things like that, they look spammy, whatever. Even if you can customize that, once the networks are created, you still got to log back into them, and you still got to customize all of them, complete the profile by the biography, add the profile image. You still got to interlink everything, which the software tools cannot do. And one of the things that you guys are going to learn in the new version of IFTTT SEO Academy is that I am using Google authorization, authorizing through Google, the Google app, or Twitter, every single account where possible, so that there's that interconnection. They're connected apps now with Google and with Twitter where possible, so that it looks a hell of a lot more real, because software tools or applications that create, or bots that create accounts, will not authorize via Google or Twitter. All they will do is create accounts using email and password. So if you can go that extra step and authorize with the Google account and Twitter account, now you've got accounts that are tightly knit together with connections that look 100% real instead of faked. So that they're a hell of a lot more likely to be given more weight, number one, and number two, last longer and less likely to be terminated.
Yeah, and also to add to what you were saying, Bradley, you know, the actual social login or the social sign up was designed, you know, as well to communicate with APIs and whatever to make it easier for the user to sign up. You know, if you can click a button and instantly be, you know, using that platform just by logging in or signing up by using Twitter, you know, that's usually what people does. You know,
that's right.
So that's what
and bots
exactly. Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what we are trying to emulate with the IFTTT when creating personas, etc. So
that's right.
That's spot on.
And when you looked at your Google account dashboard, for example, when you look at your connected apps, and 12 of the 20 properties in the IFTTT network are actually connected apps to Google, some of them being social data hub partners, that's damn strong. That identity now is really strong in Google's mind because it's connected across multiple social media, some of which are social data hub partners. And if that's not spammy at all, guys. Spammy connections are ones that don't have any app connections at all. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So honestly, Harry, I can't, you know, you can use some of these tools to kind of create the accounts up front, which will save you just a little bit of time, but you still got to go in and do all the other things in order to meet our specifications. If you want to do your own thing, you're certainly welcome to do so. Also, do you have any experience with, or would you advise using Imacros or one of those other things? I personally have never used them. Other than I've got an iMacro that I had somebody develop for me from Upwork for doing some site cleanup stuff on the lead gadget sites that I build. But other than that, no. Again, just because I have virtual assistants to do that. If you're good at creating iMacros and you want to create an iMacro that can set up accounts and things like that, that might actually be a pretty good way to do it, because you could actually create an iMacro to do all the steps that the IFTTT training shows you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, which would be to complete the profiles and all that. You can create an iMacro to do that. That's certainly not something I'm going to create, but if you're good with that kind of stuff, you certainly could. So, and I don't see anything wrong with that, because you're still, at that point, you'd still be completing all the profiles as we suggest. What lifetime free software would you suggest for an all-in-one social monitoring reporting? serpspace.com.
Serpspace.com.
Oh, that's not lifetime. That's not free, but it's cheap. It's inexpensive.
No, but I think you can. Can you get a couple of accounts for free, or yeah, it's nearly free, Harry.
It's $5 for 100 properties per month that you can monitor. You know, it's $5 per 100 properties. So if you want to monitor 500 properties, it's $25 a month. If it's, you know, go check out serpspace.com, SERP space.com, and you can monitor all your IFTTT network properties and everything in there. It's dirt cheap. And I can't suggest anything else, because obviously we're just going to suggest SerpSpace, and honestly I don't know anything else that does it really.
No, in fact, that was initially Adam's idea, you know, to be monitoring that, and and he developed his own tool because he couldn't find anything, and that ended up being, you know, the network manager of SerpSpace. So I just left a link so that you can guys sign up. It's free to open an account, and then we're gonna be adding some. You can order networks, and you can get access to the network manager over there, and you know, get access to the marketplace, etc. So go open an account. It's free.
All right, you suggest using GSA and FCS on Tier 1 YouTube, correct? You can for Tier 1 YouTube. I wouldn't do it for money sites. Only on Tier 2 and through 4 for websites. Yeah, that's correct. You got it, Harry. You said remixed vids must change a lot if on the same channel. Hangout Millionaire changes the vids a little, and you called it spam in one episode. Well, yes and no. You know, guys, I don't think spam is a bad word. It's got a negative connotation, I know that, but like, I'm perfectly happy and okay with spamming stuff. You know, it's just part of what we do as SEOs, so I'm not afraid to use the word spam. Hangout Millionaire can actually be used for even money videos, guys. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, a lot of the time for my, you know, I do a lot of video SEO for, or I do wholesale video SEO services to a video production company near me, and I do a lot of that for them. And they'll often send me the video that they want me to rank, and I will send, push it out through Hangout Millionaire so that I can target multiple keywords with the same video with no additional work. And it doesn't take me any more time than it does to upload or to live stream one video manually through Wirecast or XSplit, which is something we've been playing with recently. It's like another version of Wirecast, but it's cheaper and it's pretty damn cool. It's called XSplit. But if I upload manually, it takes me just as much time as if I send it through Hangout Millionaire and end up having it go, target 5 different keywords with the same video. And all it does is it adds, because it's live stream, every single video file is unique. And what it does is it will add an opening slide with an MP3 track in the beginning and then a closing slide with an MP3 track at the end, which after they've been live streamed, you can go into the YouTube channel and go edit that video and use the YouTube editor to actually trim that first opening slide and MP3 section out so that it's literally just the video that you wanted uploaded or live streamed to the channel without that kind of like what I call spammy clip in the beginning. You can trim that out, is my point. I'll leave the spammy clip at the end because usually it's just a call to action slide anyways with an MP3 audio track on it. So I'll usually leave the back clip on it, but the spammy one up front, I usually trim that out, and I'll just use Hangout Millionaire to syndicate that same video or live stream that same video multiple times. And it's a unique file enough that it doesn't cause any problems. So how does this help for using additional supporting bids on the same channel? Like I just mentioned, if you can take the same video. I don't recommend doing it in mass, like 15, 20 times. But if you're doing 5, 6, 7, 8 times that you want to use the same video and target multiple keywords, related keywords, long tail keywords, whatever, you can do it like that. And I do that all the time. So what I like about that, guys, is they might pay me just for one video, but I'll go ahead and use Hangout Millionaire to rank one video, but I'll use Hangout Millionaire to target 5 keywords, and I tell them up front, here's the 5 keywords I'm going to target. I'm going to get you ranked for one of them, and I'll end up using Hangout Millionaire to rank, to try ranking 5 videos, and maybe 2 or 3 keywords rank out of the 5. Now I look like a rock star. I don't charge them any extra for it. It wasn't any extra work. They don't know that. They think that they're just getting a hell of a lot of extra value for the same price. It keeps them happy, and it's no extra work on my part. If you want, you can always charge them more for it. I'm just telling you my strategy. It works well. Greg says, hey guys. Okay, Greg, I read some of these questions in another one of the groups, and first of all, I'm gonna preface what I'm about to say with everything that you have to ask is answered in version 2 for sure, which is coming out on March 28th. Okay. I went through painstaking process of making sure that everything nothing could be left unanswered, because we've over the last year had so many questions about stuff, which I thought IFTTT SEO Academy version 1 was one of the most detailed IM courses on the market, but apparently there was a lot of questions that came up that I hope were answered in the new version. But that said, also, guys, you have some editorial freedom with your network builds. Like, God, I wish some of you guys would I wish some you guys would sometimes realize that we give you a framework, but you are free to make changes and think about it logically. Okay? Like when you're building a network, and I talk about in the first version that I was building a persona network. Why? Because a persona network and a branded network are no different, other than a branded network uses a logo for a profile and company graphics for the header images and a company bio instead of a personal bio. That's it. There's no difference. And so the way that all the networks are set up are exactly the same. It's just whether you use a personal bio or a corporate bio. That's it. There's no difference. And so when I set up the persona network in the first training, guys, I said just use the Blogger blog as the main URL. But obviously, and I thought this would be logical, common sense, but apparently I was wrong. You would take the main money site URL and use that as your main website URL for a branded network. So again, in the new training, I hit you guys over the head with it. Like, hammer it home. If it's a branded network, do this. If it's a persona network, do this. again, if it's a branded network, do this. And I swear to God, I say it 20 times through through the first 5 videos alone. And there's no shortage of me reminding you of that in the upcoming training, guys. That's just because we get asked these questions many times. So let's run through this. Now that I've said my piece. In the IFTTT video, several times it relates to bookmarking one site. You mentioned to put the blogger link here as the main blog. When you're making a branded network, should we use our main self-hosted WordPress site in places that normally call for the blogger? Yes, Greg. Yes. Use common sense. Okay. If you're building a branded network, you're going to want to link your main website blog. You're going to want to use your main website URL as the main link for each profile. Of course you would. Okay. Okay. Instead, add the main self-hosted website so bookmarks go to it. I'm not sure what you mean there, but it doesn't matter. Just put your main website URL wherever you would where in the first training it said blogger URL, put your main money website URL. Okay, and again, this is all covered in detail in the new one for sure. Indigo, under me elsewhere, after putting in Twitter, Blogger, etc., at the bottom it has one line for other link. You put in your Google Plus profile about URL. And said this other link should be used for the URL where all the 15 links will end up. For a branded network, should this be the profile or page with all those 15 links end up on the Google Plus business page? Yes, Greg. The Google Plus business page will have all the links too. If you want to use your Google Plus business page URL, use your Google Plus business page URL. Use your About Me URL. Use your Gravatar URL. Use your YouTube About page. Just use whatever you want. Okay? Use whatever you want. I just made that as a recommendation. Guys, you have freedom to be able to make decisions on your own. So please, use whatever you want. I just recommend linking to somewhere that what we call a semantic hub, which is where there are all of your other profile links are listed on that page. Google Plus About page. If you're using a Google Plus brand page, if you're using a Google Plus local page, there is no link section. Okay? YouTube About page is another semantic hub. Gravatar, About.me. About.me is not covered in the first one. I know that's the next question coming. What's this About.me? It's not in the training. Well, it is in training version 2. Okay, so Gravatar, there are multiple places that we call semantic hubs. You can create a semantic hub out of a Google Doc, out of a OneNote doc, out of an Evernote note. Anywhere that you can put all of your links. You could link to your WordPress blog, your WordPress.com, your Blogger blog, your Tumblr blog if you put your profile links in the widget area in the sidebar. That's all I'm saying, guys. You have freedom to be able to put whatever you want wherever you want. Those were just guidelines because I had to put something there.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Bradley, but many of these new strategies, like the semantic hub strategies, etc., they have been developed. We have been developing them over the past maybe 6 to 8 months. And one of the good things about V2, in my opinion, is that people can actually, get access to a community where you can get, of course, you can get troubleshooting and support or whatever, but the main point there is that we got a ton of feedback and new ways of using IFTTT syndication strategies in creative ways for things that we were, initially thinking that it would work for. So I think that's the best way to go. The creativity has a ton to do with the success that our students are having with V1, and that's why the V2 version of it has the community embedded on it.
So the last part of that question is, in the other link line, should I put my branded website URL? Yes, Greg. You can put that. You can put any link you want there. You make the decision as to what is in your opinion, is the most important URL. I just put a recommendation to link to a semantic hub page because you'd be pushing juice to another page where there would be all of your other profile links. So it's this whole interlinking thing. But if you want to put your branded website URL there, absolutely you can do that. If you want to push that juice over to your main website instead of to a hub, a semantic hub, then you have that freedom to do so. So I can't tell you what is the most important, like how to prioritize your link building. I can just give you suggestions, and I did give you a suggestion, and that was to use a semantic hub, but you're more than free to link to your website URL if you'd like. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, in fact, on some cases, we had some people developing networks that personas network that they weren't necessarily attached to a money site, or they were attached to a money site as a Web 2.0. say that's a blogger that's blogging on WordPress.com. Okay, so that will be your main money site, even if it's part of the network. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it will strongly depend on the case, on your case. So maybe your persona is a big Twitter fan, and you can put your Twitter profile over there as being your main profile online, and that could work really well.
Yep. All right, so for this next question, for a branded network, in Instapaper, Pinboard, and other properties, what URL do we enter when trying to trigger the RSS feed? Well, if it's a branded network, you're going to use your money site RSS feed, right? The trigger point, if in a branded network, you're either using your main website, your money site, blog as the content distribution engine, or your branded YouTube channel as the content distribution engine. So if you're setting up recipes for your Tier 1 branded network, Tier 1 means it's being triggered from your content source, which would be your main money site. So your blog's URL, your money site blog URL, okay? By the way, Instapaper, guys, is, in my opinion, useless unless you're going to manually log into Instapaper and like the submitted or saved items. And I talk about this, again, about a dozen times in the new training because Instapaper used to have an RSS feed output. They do no longer have that. The new Instapaper accounts don't have an RSS feed output. All they have is but now they have a public profile page, which they didn't before. But in order for your saved items to be listed on your public profile page, you have to log in to Instapaper and manually press a button. It's a little heart icon, and that makes it appear on your public profile page. So for that reason, I recommend just skipping it altogether, unless you're only managing like one network for your own business or something, in which case just log in once a week or once every 2 weeks, put it on a Google Calendar, recurring event, so that it reminds you to log in and just go right on down the line and click the little heart icon next to each item. Otherwise, skip it, because it doesn't give you an RSS feed output anymore. In my opinion, it's worthless. I'm certainly not going to log in to Instapaper and click a bunch of heart icons. So I'm just going to omit them from my networks. However, it is in the new training because I know some of you are going to want to use it. All right? But just use your money site RSS feed. Pinboard looks great, but I have about 10 questions on what to check yes and no, a few setup issues. That's because Pinboard wasn't covered in the first training. So I'm not going to go over that right here. It's in the next training. Just fumble your way through it. It's just like any other property. I would, either just wait until the new training comes out to set up Pinboard, or just play with the options which you think are right. I certainly can't go through it right here because that's part of our training. All right, Randy says, which service software do you recommend is the best keyword analysis tool? Well, I don't know anymore. I don't really do a whole lot of keyword analysis anymore. I just use what Power Suggest spits out.
Right.
Like, honestly, my favorite tool for analyzing keywords is Google Trends, and that's where I start with all keyword research. Is I go to Google Trends, I set up the geographic location, the area that I want to pull data from, which is usually United States, or I'll go to state level, or even regional, or even city level sometimes. But for the most part, I would just go with U.S. data. And then I look at the top terms, related terms historically, and then I look at the rising terms. That's when I collect the keywords and related phrases out of those results and then I go drill down on each one of those results using Power Suggest Pro, and I get a ton of really good long tails, and then I go clean that list manually. It's a bit of a process, but I'll go clean that list, get rid of the keywords that don't make sense, or the ones that have modifiers that don't make sense to the project I'm working on. And what I'm left with is usually several hundred keywords that are closely related to the seed term, and then I build my campaigns around that. I really don't go check metrics anymore. If I do, I would just use the Google Keyword Planner, and that's not an SEO tool, guys, but that's just so I can get an idea of if there's any traffic metrics on it. But if not, I don't care. I still use Power Suggest, or Google suggested keyword phrases as for my campaigns, whether they show metrics or not in the Keyword Planner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What I've been using a lot lately, Randy, is SEMrush. It will give you, it's a competitor tool, it's a competition tool, and it's not only for SEO but also for PPC. Now, for SEO, the way that I use it is to uncover those keywords that you are ranking for on page 2, on page 3, so that, you know, because you're saying this will be used to research which keywords you should target for articles in your website. So, you know, there are a bunch of keywords already that you are already ranking for, and SEMrush can tell you which they are, and you can filter them out by, you know, by searches, and also you know, based on, for example, position, let's say 11 to 25 or 29. You know, those will give you those keywords that you are already ranking for, but on page 2, page 3, page 4. Then you can set up new blog posts targeting those keywords and targeting the pages that those keywords are ranking for. So you can link internally, or if you have a PBN, for example, or but you will be using your IFTTT network for that matter. So that's once. And not only that, you can also uncover your competitors' keywords and what keywords they are using to rank on page 1, on page 2, page 3. So you can pretty much hijack those keywords. And SEMrush will tell you how much of their organic traffic comes from each keyword. So let's say that you have 3 keywords, not all of them will bring you the same amount of traffic. So I think that have in mind that, for example, you know, analytics will show you a ton of not provided. Webmaster Tools will show you a ton of not provided.
Well,
SEMrush is a good way to pinpoint these keywords that you can't rank better if you do some on-site SEO.
Well, that was the other, you know, I was going to say, as soon as you said SEMrush, the other thing that I do, though, is, you know, you guys are probably familiar with SerpShaker and an ATM, the lead gadget and the ATM, which is like an industrial strength SerpShaker, and I use those a lot of the times for keyword discovery. Those sites, like, for example, if I'm looking into a new niche or a new project, then I will slap up a site using, I use the ATM, lead gadget and the ATM, and I'll build a site with 30,000 posts, and it takes about an hour to set it up, and now I've got VAs that do that for me. And so I'll just send them a list of keywords and give them a couple domains, and I'll say, go build me a couple sites, and then I'll add those sites to Google Search Console. And Search Console will give me more keyword data than any tool does, because it takes time. You've got to let, you know, the site index, and then it'll start to perform. But what it'll do is it will show you inside of Search Console what your which keywords your site was given impressions for. And you can even sort by position. It'll show you the average position that you were given those impressions for. And what I found is that with those types of sites, I can identify keyword phrases that aren't in Google Keyword Planner. They're not in Google Suggest because they haven't been searched enough, yet there's somebody, it will show the actual physical, like, term, phrase that somebody searched on and where your site appeared, given the impressions. It'll show clicks too. If you got any click-throughs it'll show you click-through rate and a number of clicks too. But that's if you're just checking on the keyword data. But you can actually sort to show which pages were ranked too, and or given impressions for. It doesn't mean they're ranked. I mean, for example, it could give you a keyword phrase and it shows that your average position was given. Let's say it was given like 4 impressions, and your average position might have been like 47, which means you're way back on page 5. But it means that your site is, in Google's eyes, at least it's given some relevancy to that search phrase. And so what I found is that what I look for is keyword phrases that have high impression rates, because the ones that have high impression rates means that keyword's getting searched often. So what I'll do is I'll sort my Search Console data by impressions, not clicks, although that there's value in that too, but that's for more like for you know, identifying where you're performing well, blah blah blah. But for specifically for keyword discovery, I'll sort by impressions, and then I'll make a list, and you can export the file as a CSV. And then I'll sort by impressions, and then I'll have now a new list of keyword phrases that may not have turned up in any keyword tool that I know people are actually looking for, and then I can work on improving content for my main money site or the YouTube videos that I'm trying to rank or whatever. So a lot of the times, guys, I'll build these sites just for keyword discovery, like basically research and discovery, and they turn those kind of sites, in my opinion, like, guys, ATM and Lead Gadget, if you want to join that, that's great. It's incredibly powerful. We've got VAs now, 2 VAs building sites for us now. They build anywhere between 16 to 20 sites per day. It's insane what we're being able to generate with that. There's 30,000 posts per site, so you do the math. We're building as many as 600,000 posts per day. It's ridiculous. Anyways, what I'm saying is the SERPshaker is a plugin. It's a one-time fee. If you guys pick that up, we've got a link for it, semanticmastery.com/SERPshaker. Then you can build these sites out for, even if you didn't monetize the sites, you can use them specifically for research and discovery, which is what I originally started using those for. And I still, to this day, use those types of sites for research and discovery, but I'm also monetizing those sites now as well. So, very, very powerful. Jordan says, I have a ton of DFY done for you built by Semantic Mastery Networks and want you lovely folks to maintain them on the serpspace site. I've already subscribed to the service. Is there a way I can simply upload the Gdocs? Yes, Jordan. You can upload the CS. I'm not sure if you can upload the Gdocs, but you can, you can export it as an XLS or CSV or whatever and then just upload it. Yes, you can. There should be training inside. Is there no training in the, you probably wouldn't know either, would you? On.
Yeah, there's a video that's showing how to do it. If you do not find it, Jordan, it should be right there. If you do not find it, get a support ticket and send a support ticket to us. However, what I know is that when you get a done for you network built from us,
it should already be importable.
Yeah, it should be imported already into serpspace, Jordan.
But if you've got older networks before we were integrated, yes. Now it's integrated, yes. But
yes,
if you bought them prior to that, then I know you can upload the CSV file or Excel file and import all your properties. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, you can bring a network that you have built by yourself, or that you have, somebody else built for you, and you can import that by using a CSV. Now, I think there is an instructional video on the network manager page.
I think there is. If there's not, just send us a support ticket, and we'll make sure number one, send you the link to the video, the training video. Number two, we'll add it in. And I just want to clarify something Hernan said. Hernan said, or if somebody else built a network, you can upload those too. We actually put a safeguard in place. If somebody else built your network besides us guys or besides you, and you try to upload a CSV file, it's going to automatically terminate your account and you'll be banned for life.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Okay. It's gonna detect it. Yeah.
It will self-destruct. Your computer will blow up.
Yeah.
I want to just take a second and just give a shout out to Jordan Fowler, man, because he's been using our stuff and just killing it. And so it just goes to show that if you just go through the training, if you apply the training, you are going to be successful, man, no matter what you do. But you just have to do it. I always tell people, man, just go, just do it. Just do it. Take action. Do something. Mm-hmm. Don't just sit there and say, well, this stuff doesn't work, man. It just doesn't work. It can't work. That's even worse. There's no way possible that this stuff could work. You don't know. You don't know unless you go and you take some action.
Yeah, I've seen some jackasses on like Black Hat forums that say don't do the stuff that Bradley Benner and Semantic Mastery tell you to do because it's going to end up harming your sites. I've seen that in the Black Hat forums, and I've so wanted to jump into those threads and be like, "You're an idiot." Well, I don't.
It's only going to make you money. That's all. That's all it's going to do. They're just going to make you money. So don't follow their teaching. Come buy our $5 product that won't do shit for you.
Yeah.
Right. Conversely, I've also seen a bunch of people having results on those same forums, and some threads are really heating up because there are some people actually having results with our stuff, and you can see for yourself if you go for, if you go to Black Hat forum and search for Bradley Benner or IFTTT training, you will see those threads, and they can get really heat up because some people actually are getting results and they are showing it. And they are showing respect for the quality of the training. So I think that's Grant Cardone says if you have 10 haters, go get your 20. So that's fine.
Yeah, Grant Cardone says if you got 10 haters, go get 20 more.
Yeah, go get your 20. Yeah.
If you got unless you have haters, you're not doing enough. You're not making enough waves. So
right.
Earl says I could use a tool that quickly and cheaply of course, this is that caveat, right? The modifier. Identified keyword/city combos that resulted in a 3-pack. For example, an exterior remodeling contractor that probably has many dozens of possible keywords in a metro area with major city and 50 to 70 sizable suburbs. Earl, that sounds like a great tool. I don't know of one, so I don't know what to tell you. If one of you guys have a suggestion, please say so.
No,
I don't know if the tool
unfortunately,
does that.
no. No.
Sounds like a good idea, though. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe down the road we can develop one if somebody else hasn't. Paul Fussell, is curated dead? Don't know, but if it doesn't seem to be working, if it's been down for a couple of weeks, it may be dead. It may come back, but I would just move on and not worry about it. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, it's been dead, Paul, for a couple of days at least, because I've been diving into the live stream sites, and Kuratur is one of the sites that I wanted to add to the training, but it's being dead for a while now.
Yeah, and we omitted Dippity from it too, from the new training too, because Dippity is now it went to basically a paid platform. There's a free version, but it has a limit to how many bookmarks you can add to it or whatever. So like we're killing that as well. So, but that's okay. We added other new properties too. So
yes.
John says, I've been using IFTTT properties and then building FCS properties as a buffer for GSA, and it's working great, but I'm looking into expanding my reach. You mentioned a few months back about doing GSA campaigns to Amazon S3 redirects. Any update on how effective that has been? What tier is ideal for that strategy? Thanks, any input? I'll let Marco and Hernan talk about the S3 redirects. However, I've had a lot of really good, because I haven't done any of that. What I do with S3 is I host HTML sites on Amazon S3 that I'm using expired domains that I pick up using blue chip backlinks that are topically relevant to what I'm going to be linking to, and I build out the HTML sites and host them on S3 buckets, and then I spam the living hell out of those. So I'm hitting an S3 bucket. You can do it. You don't need the domain, by the way. You can just use the bucket URL. As the HTML hosted domain, like the domain itself would be the bucket URL. You can definitely do that. You don't need it. The only thing is I've been using expired domains that already have backlinks built to them that are topically relevant. And so what I'll do is I'll put an HTML site, which is just the rebuilt site that used to be on that domain that I get from archive.org. And blue chip backlinks will actually import a zip file for you with all the pages and everything. You just basically unpack it or unzip it and then upload it to the bucket, and now you've got an full HTML site of the old site that's expired. Then what I'll do is I'll put a series of buffer sites using like FCS or whatever to the HTML site, and then I'll spam the living hell out of the FCS networks. That way I'm not diluting the topical trust flow of the HTML site that's hosted on the S3 bucket. I'm putting a layer of decent links between it and then spamming the hell out of those. And that's been working really, really well.
Yeah, it is. It's still working. I don't know if John is part of the mastermind though, because these are kind of things that we usually talk about of the mastermind. So
that's what I was going to say. I would be reluctant to mention anything that we're doing inside of S3. First of all, because we usually keep that inside the mastermind, and second of all, we're doing so much crazy stuff in there that I wouldn't even know where to begin. But there's tons of stuff that you can do. I mean, if you want to go in there, play with it, try it out, the best thing that you can do is test, experiment, break it, because that's the only way you'll know what works. And if you can't break it, then that's even better, because it'll stem whatever abuse you throw at it.
We did 2 videos on how to use blue chip backlinks for this kind of stuff, and you're free to see those. I think they're both public on our YouTube channel. If you just go to youtube.com/Semantic Mastery and then search the channel and just type in blue chip, one word, blue chip, you'll see that there should be 2 videos there that you can. In fact, I think I even put it in a playlist too. You can probably go to our channel and click on the playlists tab, and you'll see a blue chip training or blue chip demo or whatever playlist. And take a look at those 2 videos, and it'll show you exactly like how we're doing that. I made those public, so you guys can check them out. But yeah, I mean, we're doing a lot of really good stuff, and as they said, I can't go into detail as to how we're doing it exactly. I can give you the concept here, but the details are in the mastermind. Yep.
I'm gonna link those 2 videos. If you guys want to check it out and check them out, I'm gonna link those 2 videos on the events page as well.
Yeah, I think there's a playlist URL now, Hernan. I think I put them in a playlist.
Okay.
Justin says he's a mastermind member. I think he's a new mastermind member. He says, I have a client that had their tech gurus make a new website from them without taking the old one down. They did a temporary 302 redirect to the same domain name.com/new. So they just put it in a directory, a folder, subdirectory. I need to know how I can go about getting their website back to the root without losing all 98 pages. We'll just clone the subdirectory site.
Yep.
Clone the subdirectory site and then just install it on the root instead. All you got to do is, and if it's on the same host, really, I think all you need to do is move the folder, but you're going to have to update the links throughout the databases and everything. That's what I would do. Honestly, how I would do it is I would just make a clone of the site in the subdirectory. Then I would go install that clone on the root, and then that's it. Using some sort of cloning script. I use one called Replicator Pro, but you could do it with like main WP. In fact, if it's a decent host, you can just call the host or submit a support ticket to the host and tell them, I want to move it from the subdirectory to the root. Can you handle that for me? And they'll do it for you. Yep. So.
Yeah, you will need to 301 if they are ranking. The same domain name.com/new. You will need to 301 them to http://domain name.net or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You use something like Screaming Frog's domain website crawler or Power Mapper or something like that. You can even just do it from the sitemaps. You can literally just go look at the sitemaps on the existing site, export or copy all. You can just do a highlight and copy and paste them into a CSV file or an Excel file or whatever, Google sheet. All of the page URLs and post URLs on the site. Then when you have the hosting companies, what I would do is just have them move it from the subdirectory to the root. And once the root is up, then you would you'd create an htaccess file, or redirect for all the old links to all the new ones. And you just put that in htaccess, and that's it. It'd be done. And in fact, again, if it's a decent host, all you need to do is submit the URLs to the host and say, hey, can you create redirects in htaccess for me? And they'll do it for you. Although it's something you should probably know how to do anyways. So that's what I would do.
I think we have time for one or maybe two more questions.
Love it.
That's a great one.
Let's see. Nice. Okay. Not sure if this is new, but I'm seeing interesting medical-related knowledge graphs today. Google Sciatica even has a downloadable PDF. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on with knowledge graph. And Google, I don't know if you guys saw recently, Google's starting to bring social media updates section for branded terms right into the search results pages now. So that's even more reason that you should be blog content marketing for clients or for your own money sites, because when people search for branded terms now, some searches are returning a social media update section on the search results page, where it's pulling in the most recent posts. From your social sites, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's cool. But I haven't, these PDF. If you go ahead and search for sciatica, this PDF is the first time I've seen that, to be honest. And it's coming from a website. It's coming from it's coming from gstatic.com. I mean, it's a Google generated PDF that's taking over the entire right side of the screen. So I think it's pretty cool. We'll need to dive into this, because this is definitely Google generated, and it says sources Mayo Clinic and others. Learn more. So we're gonna dive into this, because I think it goes hand in hand with medical searches. So
yeah, John, I see what you're saying. Yeah, older, for example, any Instapaper account that I had set up prior to the change they made, the RSS feed still works. I'm not saying that it stopped working. What I'm saying is the new accounts, when you set up new accounts, they don't give you the RSS feed. You can't find it by viewing the page source anymore. If you know of a hack where you can find it, because I spent about at least 30 minutes trying to find in the page source how to, using the ID and things like that. What this string right here is, this long string after the ID, is no longer. Out of all the strings that I found in the page source for the new Instapaper format, I could not find one that worked with the site ID in this format. So If you know something I don't, please share it, and I'll make sure that I add it into the training, the new one, the new IFTTT training, and I'll make sure that I give you credit for sharing it with me. But I can tell you the new, from my experience, and I spent about 30 to 40 minutes trying to locate and hack my own RSS feed out of the new Instapaper layouts, and it's not there anymore. With the old Instapaper, you could just right-click View Page Source, and you'd find /RSS in this string. That was in the training. But in the new Instapaper, there is no string like this. There is still an ID, a site ID, but there's no RSS, and there's this portion of it after, which is unique to each site, does not show up anywhere in the actual page source. So I can't figure out how to pull an RSS feed out of it. I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out. If you know something, man, please share it with me. I'll be happy to give you credit in the training. Okay, I think we're pretty much done. Social votes. Torin. Yeah, Dan Anton service. I think we have a link for that too. semanticmastery.com/social signals. I think it's either that. I think it's that. Hernan, if you can check our
I'll check it out.
It's Dan Anton social signal service. We have a link for that too. It's I highly recommend that one for if you're going to be buying. Because guys, I've tested literally about a dozen social signal services, and this is by far the best one. So, okay, cool. We got all the questions. I'll be damned. Hot damn. All right, cool. 5:01. We got to wrap it up. I've got an interview today that I'm being interviewed, so I've got to go. But thanks for everybody for being here. A lot of really good questions today. Hope you guys are looking forward to IFTTT V2 because I'm really looking forward to having it done.
Guys, looking good. It's looking good.
All right, guys. Thanks, Hernan and Marco. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.